I'm Denise Tan. Here are the latest stories at this hour. Oil companies have implemented another hike in the prices of gasoline and diesel this week. Gasoline is more expensive by 1 peso and 21 centavos and diesel by nearly 3 pesos per liter. Kerosene, on the other hand, will see a 2 peso and 11 centavo decrease. Meanwhile, Regasco cut its LPG price by 1 peso per kilo. This brings the price of an 11-kilogram tank from 1,439 pesos to 1,314 pesos. Latest Department of Energy data show the Philippines has a total fuel inventory coverage of 45.33 days. That's close to 47 days for gasoline, at least 45 days for diesel, and about 30 days of inventory for LPG. The Agriculture Department has found several rice vendors in Manila violating the price cap. During an inspection at Paco Market on Monday, many stalls were found still selling imported rice above the 50 peso per kilo price cap. Some of them sold regular and well-milled variants for more than 60 pesos. The price cap was imposed by President Bongbong Marcos last week to stabilize the cost of the staple. The DA warned that violators may face fines ranging from 5,000 to 2 million pesos, imprisonment of up to 10 years, and possible closure of their business. Meantime, the agency is planning to set a 53 peso per kilo suggested retail price for locally produced rice. The National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, or NGCP, has once again placed the Visayas grid under yellow alert status. This is from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. NGCP said the alert was triggered by the unavailability of major coal plants and high forecasted demand. Under a yellow alert, power supply remains sufficient to meet demand, but reserve levels have fallen below the required operating margin. Meanwhile, water levels in the Angat and San Roque Dam continues to decline over the past 24 hours. Pag-asa attributed the drop to persistent dry conditions, which have drastically reduced inflows into local watersheds. Official hydrological data from Pag-asa confirms that Angat Dam has been consistently below its 180-meter minimum operating level since Monday. This morning, the level dropped to the 177-meter range, prompting the National Water Resources Board to reduce water allocations for irrigation in Bulacan and Pampanga. The move is meant to prioritize Metro Manila's domestic supply. Over at the San Roque Dam in Pangasinan, water levels dropped more than 52 meters below normal to 227.45 meters. This poses risk to hydroelectric power generation and agricultural irrigation in northern Luzon. Meanwhile, the Justice Department has recommended the filing of plunder and graft charges against Senator Jinggoy Estrada and several former public works officials over the anomalous flood control projects. That's over an alleged scheme to manipulate budget allocations, rig public bidding, and divert hundreds of millions of pesos in government funds under the 2025 National Infrastructure Budget. Also named in the complaint were former DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan, former Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo, and several other public officials and private contractors. Assistant Ombudsman Miko Clavano said the Office of the Ombudsman has already received the DOJ resolution indicating the alleged liability of Estrada and the other respondents. The DOJ, however, recommended that Bernardo, Gerard Opulencia, and Henry Alcantara be discharged as accused and turned into state witnesses in exchange for their testimony.
Following months of evaluation, the submission of counter affidavits, and extensive evidence gathering, the DOJ panel concluded that there is an interconnected network of public officers who abused their official designations to manipulate project specifications, clear budgets, and rig public bidding workflows.
News on politics. Attorney Jimmy Bondoc, lawyer to Senator Bato de la Rosa, spoke to One News anchor Ces Oreña Drilon. In that conversation, Bondoc said they are ready anytime for the ICC arrest warrant for their client, only if it is served properly. Here's part of that exchange last night on The Big Story.
Sana po out of fairness, sana po tinatanong din natin, bakit hindi po kasuhan sa Pilipinas? Lahat po ng testigo nandito, lahat ng ebidensya nandito po. Bakit po hindi ba kasuhan dito instead of trying to short circuit?
Sino po ang gusto niyong tanungin namin out of fairness kung bakit hindi dito sa Pilipinas ilitisin ang kaso? Sino po ang gusto niyong tanungin namin?
Ang gobyerno po, kasi po this is the people of
It
the
has
Philippines
been tried.
Bato.
Even the former Justice Secretary himself, Boying Remulla, who's now ombudsman, he himself said, hindi po kaya ng gobyerno. This is why the victims have gone to the ICC for justice. Hindi ho kaya dito.
Bakit po? Nung isang araw po, meron
Bakit
kaming
po akong
na-receive.
tatanungin?
Hindi, meron po kaming
This
na-receive.
is their
na
own
sa-
statement.
Yes, ma'am.
And
We
precisely
received
why there is an ICC.
Yes.
I don't
No,
know why you are framing it as a diminution
we're not part of the ICC.
Philippine sovereignty.
We're not a part of the
We're
ICC,
talking
ma'am.
of the international community here. Hindi ho
Yes, we're
isang-
not part of the ICC, ma'am. I beg you to understand. We're not part of their own statute anymore. We withdrew, and that was affirmed in the Pangilinan versus Cayetano case. With all due respect, ma'am,
yes,
says, no?
but
And-
the crimes, may I say also,
ma'am.
attorney,
Yes,
that the crimes indicated were before we withdrew from the Rome Statute.
Yes, but there is a very long discussion about continued cooperation. But it is not part of continued cooperation, no, to serve an ICC warrant. Kasi po, let's assume arguendo na nasa Rome Statute pa tayo, ma'am, ha? Let's assume, ha? Meron pong proseso sa Article 58 saka sa Article 59 ng Rome Statute kung paano po mag-serve ng warrant. At katulad po ng lahat ng batas, di ba may batas, ma'am, no? Kunyari RA, merong IRR, yung implementing rules. Sa
Opo,
ICC meron
alam
din
ko
po.
po
Ma'am,
yun.
sandali lang. This is very important, ma'am. Meron pong batas na Rome Statute, meron din pong regulations of the court. And in the regulations of the court, 31 number 3, nakalagay po doon kung paano mag-serve ng ICC warrant, which they did not follow. And the key phrase there is personal service. Kailangan po may personal service upon the accused, which they did not do. What did they do? They brandished it on social media and on media without serving us. Humingi po si Senator Cayetano, humingi po kami bilang legal counsel.
Because
out
po
of
your
deference to the
client,
law.
and I'm sorry we're
We were
running
not
out of
served
time,
the
but I'd
warrant.
just like to point out, because he was running in the stairs and, even tripped. They were trying to serve the warrant on him.
No, they were not. They were not in possession of the warrant. Then they admitted that. In fact, Melvin Matibag said to Cayetano that we will give it to you, and then sabi niya, hindi, sa Tuesday na lang, and then next time na lang, and then next time na lang. They did not serve as a warrant, no? So, until
okay, but if we'll be arguing till tomorrow. But just
No,
the
but
same,
that's very important
no,
to
no, no,
concede,
no. What is important is why Senator Bato left the supposed protective custody of the Senate to go missing. Yun po yung issue. Ba't hindi po niya harapin?
No, serve as the warrant.
Yun yung tanong po. Yun yung, in the end, the most important question. He showed
think
up to vote, to unseat, to cast his vote for Senator Alan Peter Cayetano as president, who was behind our withdrawal from the Rome Statute. He was foreign secretary then, correct? And then to go missing after, it seems it's unbecoming, to say the least.
A little correction, it was the president, of course, President Duterte was
Of
the
course,
chief
sir,
architect.
pero
Siya yung nag-withdraw. Ngayon, pagdating po
but
kay
we thank you
Senator
for your
Bato,
time. I'm sorry, we do, one final explanation na lang po, kung pwedeng maikli na lamang.
well, we are just waiting for the government authorities to serve us a personal service po nung warrant. And
Paano
also we
po
await...
kung wala na nga, missing na nga si Senator, paano isi-serve?
That is the purpose of the lawyers, ma'am. We are his legal counsel. Ma'am, I hope you don't ridicule us, ma'am. No, we're doing our best to
I'm
be
not. You're
earnest
saying
with
you want the
no?
government to personally serve, but
Yes.
he ran
Yeah,
away.
to us.
He ran away.
Abogado po kami. Abogado naman kami. Pwede naman po sa amin. Pwede
So
naman po.
that is what you want, to serve it to you,
Yes,
and then
yes,
ano pong gagawin
yes.
ninyo pag
Oh,
na-serve
and
na sa inyo?
Then we will follow
You'll produce
accordingly.
him? You will produce
Yeah.
your client.
Well, I can't assure that because I'm not Bato, but we will, of course, definitely serve the warrant on our client. Kasi po, ayaw nilang sundan yung sistema. They're
Okay,
not
so
following the law that they're invoking.
this is what you're saying. You are willing for the government to serve the warrant on the legal counsels, and you will do your utmost best to produce your client. Did I
Pag
understand it
dadaan po
correctly?
sa proseso, no? Dadaan po sa proseso, sa PCTC and all that, alam po niyo yun. I'm sure you've heard all of that. Pag dumaan na po sa tamang proseso and competent judicial authority, then pwede na nating pag-usapan ang pag-appear ni Senator Bato.
And in case you missed it, the Senate is now officially an impeachment court for Vice President Sara Duterte. A House prosecutor, however, admits the sudden move caught her off guard, especially amid rumors of an imminent Senate leadership shakeup. Here's a report.
Solemnly swear.
Solemnly swear
Wearing their maroon robes, the senators have taken their oath as senator judges in the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte.
I state your name. Solemnly swear that in all things pertaining to the trial of the impeachment of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, now pending, I will do impartial justice according to the Constitution and the laws of the Philippines. So help me God.
Senate President Alan Cayetano also took his oath as the presiding officer. This marks the formal convening of the Senate as an impeachment court. Presiding officer Alan Cayetano then ordered the issuance of a writ of summons to Vice President Sara Duterte, which she must answer within 10 calendar days after receiving it. She was also ordered to appear before the impeachment court when summoned.
The prosecution may file a reply within a non-extendable period of 5 days from receipt of the answer. The parties may file their pleadings and annexes in person or through electronic mail.
VP Sara's camp, for its part, vowed to comply and file the appropriate response in accordance with the Constitution. They also said they will refrain from making further comment out of respect for the process. New Senate Secretary Jose Luis Montales also took his oath. He will serve as clerk of court and will set the calendar for the pre-trial. In the opening prayer of Senator Kiko Pangilinan, he asked that justice prevail in the trial against the Vice President.
Naway ang magiging pasya, bawat pasya namin ay nakatuntong sa katotohanan, ebidensya at konsensya.
Senator Bongo assured the public he will be fair even if he is allied with the Dutertes.
Mandato po namin na magkampanan po ang aming tungkulin bilang Senator Judge. And dapat po maging impartial po kami. Whether Duterte Black, kung anong black man po yan, Pilipino po kami. Dapat kampanan namin ang aming tungkulin. At ako naman magiging impartial po ako.
In an interview with One News's Political Beat, Kabataan Representative Rene Co says she was surprised that the Senate convened as an impeachment court. Co has been assigned as one of the spokesperson of the House prosecution panel.
Well, personally, no, in my personal capacity, may surprise tayo. May surprise akong naramdaman. Lalo na over the weekend, narinig natin, no, paulit-ulit na maaaring magkaroon ulit ng isang change of leadership. Pero ang panawagan naman natin noon at hanggang ngayon, hindi po dapat naapektuhan ng gulo sa Senate leadership ang proseso ng pananagutan.
Malacanang, for its part, says President Bongbong Marcos will not meddle in the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro says the trial is the mandate of the Senate, citing the separation of powers.
Join us again at 2 p.m. for the very latest stories. I'm Denise Tan, and for now, we leave you with the global headlines courtesy of the Associated Press. Stay tuned.
This is AP News Minute. The United States and Iran are signaling that they would be ready to fight again. President Donald Trump warned on social media the clock is ticking and Iran better get moving fast. An Iranian official on state television said our armed forces' fingers are on the trigger. Sunday, a drone sparked a fire along a nuclear power plant in the United Arab Emirates. No injuries or radiological release were reported. Russian officials said Ukrainian drone strikes strikes killed 4 people, including 3 near Moscow, and wounded a dozen. Ukrainian officials said a Russian drone strike injured 8 people. South Carolina's State House takes up a measure on Monday to redraw congressional districts. Several southern states have passed similar legislation to help Republicans win more U.S. House seats. Negotiations resume Monday to end a strike that shut down New York's Long Island Railroad. It's North America's largest commuter rail system.